Attention listeners, this podcast is rated R for mature content and explicit language. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to episode 8 with the Lit Talkers. I'm Jennifer.
Cassie.
Holly.
I'm Tara.
And today we are talking about cozy, feel-good favorites of ours that are just ones that make your heart whole, like full, and ones that just leave us very satisfied after we're done reading.
So you have the definition. You want to share?
I do. Yeah, I looked it up. It was, and I'm going to quote it from Winter City, Edmonton, Canada. The interviewer said to an author or a librarian, they said, what makes a book a cozy read? And the person being interviewed, which I did not write their name, I apologize. They said things that are more comfortable, that they don't have graphic violence, not a lot of sexual content, or that use really profane language.
Okay.
Ones that leave you just, it's not a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not a lot of brain power, unlike our last read.
Too much brain for Jen.
Too much brain.
I like not using brain power a lot.
We use it from day-to-day things, and it's kind of nice to just be like, wow, that book makes me feel good, and I didn't have to think too hard on it.
We talked about that. What episode was it where we were like, sometimes you just need to feel good.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, feel good. Maybe it was Done and Dusted.
Yeah,
It's just
Done
one
and
that you don't
Dusted
have
was
to put so much energy in. Like some
Yeah.
of these fantasies and some of these thrillers or some of these mysteries, you have to put so much brain power into those books to understand what they're talking about. And when some of these cozy feel goods, you're just like, at the end, you're just like, I'm so content.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I love to live again.
Yeah. I love that. I love to live again because of this cozy book. No, I feel you because like two of the books that we're talking about, Legends and Lattes and House in the Cerulean Sea, are both books that are technically fantasy, and I don't read fantasy, but every time I read them, I'm like, oh my God, this just makes me, I think I went in the group chat and was like, I'm so glad I'm reading this again.
It
Just makes me feel so good. Like, it's just...
I'm really
cozy-
glad that you called yourself out on that, though, because I was going to do it if you didn't.
I'm willing to
But also-
admit
yeah,
that I
cozy-
can genre hop sometimes.
Cozy reads don't have to be just fantasy, and I think that's really important for people to understand because we have this mindset on Book Talk or BookTube that most cozy reads are cozy fantasies.
Yeah.
You have cozy mysteries, you have cozy romance, you have cozy fantasies, you have so much in that subgenre that leaves you just happy.
Yeah.
It's like one of those songs that you just turn on and you're just like jamming. That's how
Yeah, I've never read a cozy horror book, but I'm sure there are other genres.
There's not a lot
Maybe
of
one
cozy
about a killer
historical
teddy bear.
fiction either.
No,
but
you're right.
At least not the stuff I read.
That's what we need to write.
War,
Cozy
death,
thriller.
dying.
Politics.
so what do you
a cozy
consider?
read could have a little bit of like war and death?
Well,
it can because Under the Whispering Door.
I don't
would
consider that cozy.
You don't consider it
Nope.
cozy?
no.
It's set in
I
a
don't.
fucking
It's
tea
so
shop
cozy.
with a dog
but once
and a bunch of
okay.
friends.
I don't consider it cozy. I think TJ Klune does a really good job with cozy. I just don't feel like that one was cozy. If I'm sitting there bawling my eyes out like 3-6 times down the book, it is not cozy
like that.
for me. I cried so hard during that book. I literally gave myself a 3-day migraine. I don't consider
I didn't
that
cry
cozy.
that hard.
Don't
but-
make me
me
cry.
neither.
If I'm reading something cozy, I want my heart to feel happy. Yes, the ending was super fantastic. But yeah, woohoo. But when the grandpa dies in that, I'm done.
But he doesn't die. He's completed his job.
I'm
and
done.
he moves
No,
on.
Sorry, Tara.
Okay, but I think
Yeah,
about...
I didn't understand
I'm
the
sorry.
assignment again.
But have you ever seen Coco?
Yes.
Do you
Love
remember when the
Coco.
guy playing the guitar goes to his second life and they say that that's
Yeah.
the final death?
Aww.
He dies again. Do you think of it like that and then it makes you super fucking sad, right? I can't do it. That's not cozy. Sorry.
That's such a good movie.
I'll argue. I'll stand on this
Coco.
fucking hill
I
and
love
die
Coco.
alone. If it is one person that says that book is not a cozy read, it is me. And if I'm dead, then fine, whatever. No one needs to know. But if it's one person that believes that in their life, it's fucking me. That is not a cozy read. I love TJ Klune. It's just not cozy.
So I just took books that make me feel good,
that's good.
after I read them,
You're
and
allowed
those
to.
were my cozy reads.
Yeah.
And but I read a lot of things that a lot of people die, and it's
And that makes me cozy inside. It warms my
But
heart.
I will say there's
Death
like
and dying.
well, when we get more into it, I don't know who's going first this round.
We had
Cassie just looked at me like, when we get more into it, we're into it, guys.
Give it
I
to
think-
me.
Okay,
Bring it
so
on.
like
Yeah, I
my
want you to go
first,
first.
so my first cozy read is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone specifically.
Yes.
That book.
100%. I do not disagree with that. Do you disagree with that being a cozy
Well, I
read?
think her face going
Okay.
makes me think she
I'm out of this
disagrees.
conversation. Leave me out of it. Leave me. I'm sorry. I'm backing away.
It's literally a bunch of wizards,
So-
like getting to go to school in this magical
he almost
place.
dies.
Talk
I
about
know.
found family.
I know, but okay, so listen,
yeah.
okay, like this was one of those books, and like all of my cozy reads are like books that I probably read when I was a kid and I was feeling some sort of way, and I read this book and it just like throughout the book it made me feel so good, and afterwards I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so great, and I just love this world, I love these people, like these are my friends, I just like I'm so happy and content because I have finished this story. You know. So to me that's that feeling is my cozy read. And I got that with Harry Potter and I've reread it and I guess I can't really say that. Used to be like, I don't reread books, but I guess I've started rereading a couple as of late. But I feel like if something's rereadable to me, if I'm going to pick it up and take my time and reread it again, I read Harry Potter like once every like 2-3 years. I reread that book.
Okay. Hot topic. Is it a cozy read or is it because you feel cozy while you're reading it? Because it's a memory.
But I do think that there's a good chunk of that. Like, if you cut out the last 15 pages of that book where Harry almost dies, I think that it has a cozy feel.
To me, it's the
Like-
wonderment of the new world, getting reintroduced to that new
Yes.
world every
Okay.
time.
When you do that sentiment, then sure.
Yeah.
And when it's Christmas and like
Yeah.
Harry gets the sweater and they're like, "Happy Christmas, Harry! Happy Christmas, Ron!" Like, aw, that's
Let's just bring
nice.
up every Christmas book then.
I would
just-
say the majority of Christmas books are cozy reads.
Yeah.
Yes,
I love me some Christmas
Yeah,
books.
unless you're doing like a Black Christmas or
But-
something.
So
Even
that's-
Holly's threesome over there, that was very Christmassy.
What threesome book?
Okay, so this
Can
I didn't tell you
We've
about
talked about it before.
We've talked about it like 3 times. It's called
Was
I
I in the room or was it someone
We've
else?
mentioned it in passing. Okay, so
Okay.
I'll just go into it.
Hey, I read a threesome. Hey, with Santa.
Is this a cozy read?
No.
No, I don't think it's a cozy read. But it
It
was
was being dicked down by Santa Claus. It ain't cozy.
it was fun.
I just
so
did it again.
It was one of my first like really smutty books, and I read it because it was around Christmas, and I think it was maybe like Christmas or the day before, and I was homesick with COVID, and somebody posted in the Ladies of Lexington group that they were a local author who had written a Christmas book that was smutty and on Kindle Unlimited, and I was like, bet, I will do it. I thought it was pretty good. It was called I Had a Threesome with Santa Claus.
Okay.
And it was, the girl's name is Holly. So love that for me
that's the
because
one?
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause-
Thank you. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
And it was
Keep going.
Santa Claus
We've done all
and
this.
Mrs. Claus. And it was a whole threesome with them. And Santa had like a 6-pack and was like jacked.
Is this the one?
Yes. And she was like a curvy main character. I don't know if I would consider her plus sized or curvy, one
Did
or
you
the
want us to
other.
see it?
But it was pretty good. I mean, it was short, sweet, to the point. It was interesting because like she, Mrs. Claus, tasted like milk and cookies.
Like,
Yeah. And he tasted like a big glass of cold milk. So
Huh?
Read the first comment.
it was a good time. What? Is it from me?
No.
Like, I don't remember rating it, but I was in a COVID fever. Maybe
okay,
I
can
did.
I just point out something that really aches me that we just read?
What?
The author rated it herself 5 stars.
Well, good for her. Confidence. What's wrong with being confident? Oh, says Demi.
I'm sorry, that's a book ick. Back to
that
the
she's-
original
that
story.
she likes her books.
That she rates herself 5 stars?
It doesn't bother me. Good for her.
Okay.
Anyway, the book was really good. It was really interesting. I don't know how we got here, but I guess it was kind of a cozy read because like they were like in the North Pole and she felt like the love from them and she gets to go back every year around Christmas.
Are there
so-
elves involved?
No.
No.
No little people. Sorry, shorties.
So
We're gonna get back on track.
Yeah, you said Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
I don't know
is there
how it got
anything
me.
else?
Explicitly, that
Yeah.
book of this series is kind of cozy, and honestly, like Chamber of Secrets is a little cozy too. Just
I wonder what
with the
Amy
owl
would
and
say.
stuff.
We should ask her if she thinks it's a cozy book.
Well, then text her.
I'm not texting her right now. My phone's at 4%, and I'm
Okay.
trying to save it for the quotes I need to read.
So, is
Whoops.
there any other books, Tara, that you found that was not being, digged down by Santa that were cozy?
Yes.
down by
My
Santa
other
Claus.
favorite cozy read is like my first fantasy book I ever read, and I have read this over and over again well until I've been an adult, and that is Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine.
That is.
But that is a cozy read.
Oh, that's
And
such a cozy
also it kind of goes hand in hand because once I read one, I have to read the other one, and they have nothing to do with each other. But Two Princesses of Bamarre or Bamarre, I never learned how to pronounce that correctly. Also by her, different story about like two sisters. But both of those books are just my favorite. But Enchanted is just probably my absolute favorite. And for those of you who have seen the movie, the book is 10 times better.
I hope
Movie's
you know that it's
fantastic,
on.
though, too.
Yeah, but it's on my
Never seen
list
it.
for this year just
Huh?
because of that.
seen it.
You've never seen
And-
Ella Enchanted with Anne
So
Hathaway?
the other thing that she
Shut
hasn't seen,
up.
which we
Have you
were
seen
talking about this
Princess
the other
Diaries?
night,
Oh, thank
Just
God.
the first one.
she hasn't seen.
You haven't seen the second one?
No. Is it really that good?
Yes,
Yes!
Okay.
it's way better.
It's enemies to lovers? Oh my God.
We're gonna have to have a movie night. Okay, so
Yee-hee.
the other thing that Holly hasn't seen, which goes with this, is Stardust.
Shut the fuck
I've
up.
never even heard of this
The
movie.
book? Did I write that one
So
down?
I haven't
Damn.
read the book,
Oh
but
my God,
I
the
put
book
it
was
on my
so
list for today
good.
because I literally have like 2 weeks left at the library before it's mine and I can read it. So,
And that
So
was the
good.
Neil Gaiman
That's by
book,
Neil
wasn't it?
Gaiman.
Okay,
So
yeah.
Stardust was fantastic.
and it's not. I don't think
Okay.
it's a huge book. Like
It's
I think
not.
it's pretty
It's like
short.
200 pages.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know there was a movie.
Put it
So
on my
I read
TBR.
Stardust.
Oh, see,
So
I found the
reverse.
movie.
I read Stardust 6 months ago because I was looking for something that made me feel good. And I found Stardust by a recommendation of someone who I don't think I like follow very much, but it came up or whatever. And then I was reading it and I think my dad was like, that's a movie, right? And I was like, no. And he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on HBO Max. And I was like,
What?
you're joking. So I went home that night. I finished the book. Went home that night,
yeah.
watched it, and I was like, this is fucking chef's kiss.
I've never seen
So
it.
good. It
Or
follows
read it.
the book
So
super
good.
well.
Okay, that's good to know.
Stardust. So yes, we need to watch Stardust. We need to watch
I'm making notes.
Ella Enchanted.
Stardust.
Just
read
Cyrus
it.
too.
Just read Ella Enchanted.
Ella
The movie is okay. Like when it comes on, because I love the book so well, I am past my point of like hating the movie.
Yeah.
I did have a little like there was just some things that made me very frustrated, but it's okay.
Can we talk about that after the podcast? Because I would love
Yes.
to know. It's one of my favorite movies.
Have you read the book?
Have
I
you
have
read the book?
Okay.
Okay.
I just
So
love Anne Hathaway. Oh, I'm
I do
sorry.
too.
I like her, but that's probably my favorite cozy book though. Ella Enchanted.
It's
It's
just
just
it's
it's
good,
so good.
cozy. Oh, it's so good. I love Ella Enchanted, and I love Anne Hathaway. I love her.
She's all right.
She's all right. So what are your cozy reads?
I have a lot, so I should go last.
Okay.
Or we can play off mine.
Well, I mean, I'll go. I put Stardust on my list because I know that I'm gonna love it. The book was amazing, or the movie was amazing, and like I said, I have like less than 2 weeks, so hopefully by next podcast I will have read it and can report back that it is a super. the movie is a super cozy. Like
movie's so
nothing
good.
bad happens. Everybody's.
It's a fantastic
just-
cast.
Yeah.
The movie is.
Yeah. So some of my other ones are like our little pile over here. So which we've talked about before, The House on the Cerulean Sea is absolutely
By
which-
T.J. Klune.
Yep. And there still are some, kind of some rough things that they talk about and discuss so far as like, just some hatred in the world. But it's always returned with kindness. And I think that that's what makes it super cozy. The other one we read recently, Legends and Lattes by
Travis Baldree.
Thanks. She's on top of this. And I plan on reading the next one. I know Jen's already read it.
That's on my list. It's since you already
Bookshops and
touched on it, it's
Bonedust.
Bookshops and Bonedust by Travis Baldree.
Yep.
And that was a prequel
Yeah.
to Legends of Lattes, and he just does it again. It's so good.
But you can get lost in them. You don't have to think about anything else while you're reading them.
The light romance is so cute.
You don't have to be afraid to put
Yes.
it down. Like there's literally nothing wrong with that book. Like there is not a single thing wrong with that book.
You know, we read this for book club, and one of the complaints was it didn't have enough conflict, and I was like, I don't feel like you should have so much conflict for something that is so short in general. It's like 200 pages, not even, and like,
Oh, I think it's longer than that.
might be 240,
I say this because I also haven't finished.
but also like it's just. Is it longer than
287.
Okay, so under 300 pages.
Hold on.
You have it.
294.
Okay, right under 300 pages, but like, what? It's just good.
It was such a good story. Legend
was.
and Lattes was super duper cozy. I mean, it was set in a
Oh, the
coffee
little
shop. It's
ratkin.
almost like you could just like smell the coffee and like
Yeah, it made you want a cinnamon
feel
roll.
like the warmth.
Found
and
family.
It was
Yeah.
it was really good. There was a little bit of conflict, but it wasn't anything. And like from the conflict, they rebuilt so beautifully. And then what was it that she put on the sign? Because the sign kept changing, like how she was.
Yeah.
What flames could not consume never shall be extinguished. And I just thought that was beautiful, man. I just really liked that.
Travis Baldree, he did such a good job, and I couldn't say any bad things about it because Bookshops and Bonedust take place in a bookshop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to read that
Oh,
one
it's
for
so
sure.
good. That does have a little bit more conflict. I
Yeah.
will say that there's a little bit more high stakes. So that's not. It's less cozy than Legends of Lattes, but it hits the mark.
Yeah.
So I need you to read The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches too.
Okay.
By
I'll read that
Sangu
one.
Mandana.
Mandana.
Nana.
It's so good
I'm
too.
super excited for her new one because I
What's
hope
that
it
one?
has the same cozy feel.
The magical
Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
And I think it's out kind of soonish
No,
or
she
got
keeps
pushed
pushing
back.
it back. I'm
But
so upset.
It'll be out this year. We'll read it. It has that same cozy vibe.
And it has a little bit of romance.
It does. It has just a little bit of romance. There's just a little bit of conflict with the kids.
Yeah.
No, I think that conflict
know.
is actually bigger than Legends of Lattes, to be honest.
Really? Okay.
Well, because you got to think they're training for
Yeah.
something, and it happens winter solstice, right?
Mhm.
Is I think when it happens, or right after Christmas,
Yeah.
and they're training for a month for this, so it's a continuous thing
yeah.
that's in the book. That's the only reason I say that is
Yeah.
because I think it's more prominent and it's more.
But I don't think that it takes away from the cozy feel.
No, absolutely not.
Because it is about 3 young witches.
She gets out and collects like moon dust.
Yeah.
I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
And it,
Oh.
yeah,
Ugh,
like
it's
she's
so-
brewing
you need
in
to
her
read it, if
attic
anyone needs to read it.
bedroom, and it's like everything that I wanted in my little witchy soul. It's like Charmed without the like demons coming to kill you every 30 seconds. And I just like I wanted that as a kid. Like I wanted this magical attic that I could live in and you know have a spell book and
Found family.
make all my
Oh, yeah.
wishes come true.
Again.
Like I just wanted that as a kid, and I think that this book is literally every witchy little girl's dream, and I think that that's what makes it so cozy. But that's it. They're all fantasy. Shocker.
Because it's your favorite.
Did you want me to go? Or do
You can go because I haven't read any cozy books besides
Legends of
Lattes and.
But you
House
had
in the
some
Cerulean
quotes
Sea.
from House on the Cerulean Sea that you wanted to share.
I did, but now my phone is dead.
Oh, did
Okay,
it?
so I'll go because I have a whole list.
Yes.
That's one of the genres that I really gravitate towards because I just love it. I love feeling cozy.
and there
and I love
there's
feeling at
so
home.
many good ones.
Yes,
and I
there
mean,
are.
there's like pages. If you go on Goodreads, it's
Oh,
so many quotes
Yes.
about just like being yourself and not listening to hate and prejudice and finding your own little slice of happiness and just like finding magic in the everyday things.
and also we talked about this in a future project that it's like feeling home
yes.
Yeah.
and feeling, with people that make you feel home.
Just the people,
Yeah.
that you can be yourself.
Yeah.
A million times. Like how Linus would talk about he was a bigger guy and he would talk about being round.
Yeah.
And Talia was like, "Oh, I'm round too." Like,
and then like
they just
Arthur didn't even think anything of it. He's like, "You're the most beautiful man, and you have the most beautiful heart."
Yep.
And just,
It's
so good.
It's really.
I can't
good.
wait for the next one because if TJ Klune fucks that up, I swear to God,
We're
I will
gonna
go to his
riot.
house and riot. Because that's taken such a heartwarming story.
And it's for everybody.
It's
like,
yes.
the reason I liked it more the second time around is because I feel like I had just gotten into reading when I started reading House in the Cerulean Sea. I was reading the same stuff all the time, and I feel like I almost read it and was like, how am I supposed to like take this in or feel about this? Like, it was just so out of my wheelhouse. Kind of like, this is terrible, when I first read my really like smutty novel, the first one was like, oh my God, like I don't know that I like this. But then I was like, I think I kind of like it. And then
I think everybody's like that with their first
in
one,
the water.
Yeah,
though,
exactly. And then I read this the second time around, and I think I kind of got the vibe more, especially after reading Under the Whispering Door, because I was like, okay, this is his writing style. Now I can go back to this one. And it just made me so fucking happy. Like, just the kids and Lucy and, just I can see them like going to the island and going in the ice cream shop and going in the record store and like Lucy like taking out that guy in the back room. And,
So is this supposed to be a play on like the Peanuts gang?
No,
They're all like Peanuts characters though. Like I'm not saying that as like a bad
just
thing.
the two people she
Because Charlie
mentioned.
Brown's very
Yeah, no,
cozy.
there's
it's not.
It is very cozy.
Theo and then Chauncey. So basically, okay, I'm going to give you the rundown. So the story is there's this guy named Linus, and he works at a company.
He works at a CP, almost like CPS.
Yes. And
like what we consider Child Protective Services.
Okay.
yes.
And he goes around. He's a social worker.
Yeah, he's a
There
social
you go.
worker for
That's
like
even
magical
better.
kids.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so his job is he gets sent on assignment and he goes
A
into these
special
places.
assignment.
Yeah, but before this, like it opens up, he's at like a different house.
Yes.
And he gets assigned to go places and like say whether the orphanage is a good thing or a bad thing. And basically like he has the fate of the orphanage in his hands to
And
get it
also-
shut down. And he's a very like analytical,
That's what I was gonna
black
say.
and white, by the book kind of guy. And he like,
Gotcha.
he lives
His
kind of a
life's
mundane
dull.
life.
Yeah.
Very,
Very
very
dull.
mundane, but like,
It rains every day.
yeah, and you can tell he's not happy
Yeah.
with it, but he's not like, I'm gonna kill myself.
He has a
But
cat?
he does. Oh my God, what's her name? Is it?
Oh,
He
it's
takes
not-
her with.
It's not Penelope. Calliope.
Is
it Calliope?
No. Oh, you got this.
Anyway, so
Anyway, keep going.
he has a cat that he gets sent on this special assignment, and they don't really give him a lot of information. They just tell him like
It's the
there
most
is one
dangerous.
kid, and he's the Antichrist.
Well, they tell him that it's the most, like, kids that are the most unique
Yeah, like the most dangerous
to the magical
or,
realm.
Okay.
So then he gets sent to this house on the ocean, and it's funny because he
It doesn't
has
ever rain.
no, he has. Is it
So,
his?
Look,
is
you're
it
making
his-
me emotional. I can't.
Is it
I
his
love
mouse
this
pad
book.
or the background in his computer that's an ocean and it says like
Yes.
"Don't you wish you
Don't
were
you
here?"
wish you were here? It's
And
his
so then he
mouse
goes to
pad.
this
no,
place.
it's a picture on his desk.
And then he goes to the place and it's almost like the place he's
Like
been
his
looking
picture?
at, and like
never raining.
Aw.
and so yeah, he meets all these kids that are different and beautiful and special. And like one of them's like an alien blob that like just wants to be
Chauncey.
he wants to be a bellhop.
Yeah.
And that's like his main thing. He like wants to do laundry, and like Linus is a wyvern, and not Linus, Theo is a wyvern, and he collects like little buttons
is
and
Calliope.
trinkets.
You were
I told
correct.
you
It
it
is
was Calliope.
I know you just read
so
it, so
bad.
I wasn't questioning
Yeah.
you. I just couldn't remember.
But it's just, it's basically this guy goes and he discovers these kids, and Arthur is the guy who runs the orphanage.
You can't tell much
And-
about Arthur.
And they start kind of having this relationship, and he
Linus
just-
learns a lot.
I think Linus learns a lot about himself through the kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
They
the
each
kids are
teach him
so
something different.
unapologetically themselves that Linus
Yes.
is like, what have I been doing for 40 years?
Yeah.
Why am I like this when these kids are not even close to my age and they can be themselves without any question? And Arthur and what was Fee? No, Faye. What is her? Yeah,
It's Faye, isn't it?
is it Faye?
Yeah, it's
the
Faye.
other teacher.
Yes.
Yes, they teach these kids that it's okay to be who you are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No matter what anyone says about you, they could say you're the Antichrist or you're just a blob or you're anything. You can be whatever you want.
Yeah.
And so
Just
anyway.
real fast, because I literally read this in searching for Calliope's name. It says, if one were to ask Linus if Linus Baker was lonely, he would have scrunched up his face in surprise. The thought would be foreign, almost shocking. And though the smallest of lies hurt his head and made his stomach twist, there was a chance he would still say no, even though he was, and almost desperately so.
And it's funny too. This book is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like
That book.
Lucy the Antichrist is always talking about like, I'm gonna kill
Lucy's
you.
my
and,
favorite.
like sacrifice your body. And there's a little the gnome is
There's
Talia,
that.
and she's always like,
There's
I'm gonna
worms
bury
in
you in
my
my
head.
garden and nobody's ever gonna find your body. Like
That's great.
it's
great.
It's funny.
I'm
it's
excited to
heartwarming.
read it.
It's so good. It's just like
It is my next physical book. Like, I
It's-
bought it.
it's very
I own it. It is sitting there staring at me.
I
yeah.
love that.
I don't want to ruin it, but it's one of my favorite quotes. But it's okay.
Well, you can say it.
But it's okay. I'm gonna do it anyway.
He says near almost the end, which is a happily ever after. So this
Yes,
shouldn't be
it
really
is.
a thing. It says, "You did, and as I told extremely upper management, this isn't an orphanage; it's a home, and that's what
Yeah.
it will remain."
Aw.
Yeah, so his
So
his
good.
the whole dilemma
So
is
good.
like, does
Are
he
they
go
gonna
back
shut it
home,
down?
right, and like hold this in his hands?
Because there's a big secret,
yes, there's
that
a
they
big
find out.
secret. Mm-hmm.
and that's one thing that upper management didn't tell
Doesn't
him.
know.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know that they know.
They knew.
They knew, and
because
they
that
didn't
one
tell
guy
him.
used it. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
And Arthur was, or Linus was mad. He's like, you sent me on this mission, and you didn't even tell me all the pertinent details.
Yeah, you didn't give me all the
like,
information.
why did you do that? So
it's just such a good movie. It's such a good book that it could be such a fantastic movie
It would be a great
Yeah.
movie.
if they
would be a
did
lot
it
of fun.
correctly.
I feel like TJ Klune probably has a lot of weight on his shoulders for the second one.
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
it's got to
like,
be so
take
much
your
pressure.
Time.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, TJ Klune, take your time. I don't care if it gets pushed back a year. Do our babies justice,
Mm-hmm.
and do our babies justice all the way around. Because he's telling it's Arthur's story now, and Arthur needs to be protected.
Yeah.
That man needs.
And I was listening to
He didn't get
Somewhere
any
Beyond the
protection when he was
Sea for
little.
like days
We're
after I was
protecting him now.
listening, reading this book.
Aw.
Because Lucy has records and he plays Somewhere Beyond the Sea. And so that's kind of like what plays in my head and what I'm
Love
obsessed
Lucy.
with after I'm reading this book. So
It's so good.
yeah, it was
Aw.
be good.
I love that song.
Be good. Yeah, it's a good one.
All right, Jen.
Reminds me of Finding Nemo.
Take us away, babe.
Oh Lord. Okay, so we talked about a couple. We talked about Travis Baldree's 2. We talked about the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. We talked about House in the Cerulean Sea. I have a couple of different ones. Some are graphic novels, some are regular books or whatever. So I have one by Brandon Sanderson, which I did not care for, but it is cozy. It's Tress of the Emerald Sea.
Okay. I've read some of his, but I've not read that one.
So if you
I would not
if you
consider his
have-
other ones cozy.
No, this one was so cozy.
Okay.
If you like Princess Bride, you will like Tress
I've never
of
seen
I
the
love
Emerald
Princess
Sea.
You've never seen
Bride.
Princess Bride?
You've never seen
I'll
Princess
add it
What?
to
Bride?
the movie list.
Hold on. You have not watched
Nope.
The Princess Bride.
It's so good. There's so
I have
many
not.
quotable lines.
But
from
is it
that.
Have you
it's
read it?
cozy.
It is.
Tress
all
has
you
the
read it?
time. I'm like,
the
marriage
abridged version.
is what
First
keeps
version's
us
way too long.
together today.
No, I know
So
nothing about
Tress
it.
of
Well,
the
that's
Emerald
okay.
Sea
Sweet
is
love.
almost a
It's on the
duplicate.
list.
Can we do that as a movie night?
What?
The Princess Bride.
Yeah, we can do
Yeah.
that.
all of it.
And
We'll do a whole
Enchanted,
weekend. And
Stardust.
We'll do a whole weekend.
Yeah, fuck those
Okay.
kids. Just abandon them with their fathers.
They
and
can
we'll
come
go
watch
off
cozy
hotel.
movies with us.
They
Will ruin
it.
them.
Take
We'll
it from
watch
the
it after
child
Take
of
it all
millennials.
goblins and leave.
We're going to go to the lake.
So
yeah, we can get our projector. Anyways, okay, keep going, ladies. I'll fill you in later.
Tress of the Emerald Sea is almost identical to The Princess Bride, in my opinion. And that's why I rated it 3 stars. Because if you've read one, you you can follow the other one pretty well. But it is cozy, and that's a Brandon Sanderson book, which we don't see normally from Brandon Sanderson. That was one of his secret projects that he was working on that he's releasing like 5 this year or last year or something like that, and that was one of them.
I guess I've seen that, but I guess I didn't realize
It's like
it
a
was
green
Brandon
book. I
Sanderson.
have it, I think, unless I give it to Half Price Books. You're more than welcome to it.
But you didn't like it.
It's because I've read and I've also seen The Princess Bride.
Okay.
So you really can skip one if you've seen the other.
Okay.
It followed.
Okay.
It was exactly almost the same.
Okay.
It did-
Really?
there's certain parts that weren't, but it was very similar.
Okay.
Very similar to the point where I was like, wait, am I reading The Princess Bride, but just by Brandon Sanderson? With bigger vocabulary? So.
Inconceivable.
Yeah. Whatever. So
I'll recommend The Princess Bride.
yeah, I do recommend The Princess Bride too. I think that's a
For
cozy read too.
Okay.
Okay, so a graphic novel was one that I just read that I found it very cozy. It's The Baker and the Barb by Fern Haught. It's a YA graphic novel. It's YA fantasy. It's it has non-binary character. It's LGBTQ plus, which I'm just in that mood lately, so that's all I've been almost reading. And it's about a baker and a barb, best friends, that go on a quest to
What's a barb?
save a musical.
A bard?
Bard?
Bard.
Barb.
No, it's
Bard.
bard.
No.
With a D, babe. Bard with a D, babe. Barb is like
Have you ever seen
Barbara.
Tupperware?
it's Tupperware.
It's you're throwing peas at me,
Tupperware.
babe, or bees. Tupperware.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Hold on. Now I'm like
100% you're wrong. I can
Oh.
tell you that right now.
I am wrong.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you said it.
Okay, when you said Barb the
I was
first
just gonna
time, I
let
thought
her-
maybe I'm just an idiot and it's a fantasy term. I don't know.
Listen, I just thought
I'm
that's
just
the
an
way
idiot.
she was pronouncing it.
I'm serious.
Like,
Like, they're gonna watch both these episodes and they're gonna be like, Jennifer's a fucking moron. And I'm gonna be like, you're not wrong.
There are so many times where I feel like I'm the moron, so I'll let you have the dunce cap. We'll put you in the corner.
I'm just over here
Well,
like,
hold on.
what am I doing with myself? At this
I don't
point?
know what either of those two things are.
Okay, so
a bard?
a bard. Barda.
Barda.
Bard with a D.
Sorry, I was throwing bees at you, babe. It's shit.
It's
a
like it's a player in
musical-
a party who plays an instrument.
Yeah.
So like it's really popular in
Barda.
like Dungeons and Dragons. They're the one who like heal people through music.
Beetle and the Bard.
Or
my brain last night.
it's
was
like
dirty.
it's like a traveling singer.
That's a,
Kind
that's
of.
the
Like
Harry
a troubadour,
Potter book,
but
right?
magical.
yeah, so the Bard is
I never knew what it was.
It's a magical
Okay, yeah.
troubadour.
It's a yep. So
a magical
okay.
troubadour. Oh, that's a big word. Troubadour. I like that name. Troubadour.
Okay.
Troubadour.
Troubadour.
Carry on. It's a
Oh, I
bard.
love her accent now.
Carry on. Troubadour.
okay, so
Bard.
if you want to read that one, you guys can. The next one.
What's it called again?
The next.
No. Did we ever get the full correct
The
name?
baker and the barbed.
Bard.
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 I give up at this point. Okay, I don't
Baker
have.
and
I
the
don't say
barbed.
it correctly anyway, so it is what it
Baker
is.
and the Bard by.
Fern Haught, and I'm probably saying that fucking wrong too.
No, we got you. You're good.
But it was a really good one. It's it has a little bit of romance. They go on a quest to save this town that animals and veggies are going missing due to
no.
fae that they find in the forest that are dying off because the humans have taken over their lands.
Oh, sounds like Fern Gully.
But it's really low
does.
conflict.
I love
The
Fern
fae come
Gully.
out, tell them what's happening. They take them to the town. It's like 200 pages. They take them to the town. The town people are like, let's work together to find a solution. It's really good. Has a little bit of romance. They get together in the end.
What is that one? Oh, that's the manga.
It's a graphic novel.
Graphic novel.
Does anyone want to say
I'm
it for
sorry.
me?
I forget what it's called. Something
The
with the
Baker
Bard.
and the Bard.
Baker and the
Baker
Bard.
and the Barbed.
We've got to start doing these earlier.
I'm sorry, I got sidetracked
You're
and then I
fine.
thought I missed the
You're
name
fine.
of the book.
I was throwing B's the whole time when it was D's. I don't know. I usually like D's. So the next book is Flowerheart by Catherine Bakewell. It's a YA fantasy as well. It's a girl who has unruly magic, and she has to figure out how to control her magic, or it's going to be taken away forever.
Oh no!
And so then she gets an apprenticeship underneath her childhood crush. And he's really great because he has some secrets about him. And he's kind of like someone who's kind of like a darker, like he's done some naughty stuff and kept his magic. And then he gives it up kind of for her. It's really cute. It's really, really cute. And that was fantastic.
So like a grumpy sunshine kind of deal?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
She's definitely sunshine. She grows flowers.
Aw,
It's
literally
really-
me.
It's
Just so magical and sweet.
okay.
A ray
Anyway.
of sunshine.
So, the next one that I recently read that I found very cozy, it was Nettle and Bone by Kingfisher. It's a little dark.
Is it
but
a
it's-
show?
No.
Am I crazy?
You're thinking of Shadow and Bone
Okay.
by Lee Bardugo.
Oh, we
Um,
talked about that one in the last episode, didn't we? Never mind,
Nettle
a
and
little
Bone
bit.
was really good. It's about sisterhood, found family, discarded knights. We have a bone dog in it. We have a chicken that is possessed by a demon. It's so good. It's so good. So that's all I
A
gotta say
chicken
about that.
possessed by a demon.
Sold.
Couldn't the demon have found something better to possess? I'm just
If
curious.
he's trying not to be found.
Yeah.
Chicken's
Well,
pretty
then
good.
pick an earthworm.
It's about God. It has godmothers in it, or godmothers.
Okay.
It's so good. It's a
No, it sounds
dark fairy tale, but in the
Ooh.
best way because you have demons and
Yeah.
obviously it
Yeah,
can't be like
okay.
a regular fairy tale. That was so good. That was my first 5-star of this month. That I was like, wow, okay, I'm actually cool. I won't read any of her other stuff or their other stuff because it is mostly horror. So
Womp womp.
yeah. Another
Womp
one
womp for you.
Another one that is a graphic novel is The Tea Dragon Society by Kay O'Neill.
Yes!
I love that freaking. Those graphic novels are so good.
So I don't know if I read all of them. I know I read at
There's
least
3. There's 3.
Oh, what are the titles? Give them to me in order, and I can tell you whether or not I read all 3. I
We're
read at
gonna
least
have to
2.
hold, please.
Cities.
And they're so short and,
While
sweet,
they're holding
Oh,
this
they're
but like
Khaleesi.
they leave you wanting more too. And they're absolutely gorgeous in illustration.
Oh, they're so good. And they're on Kindle Unlimited, I'm pretty sure. It's Key Dragon Society, the key.
Tea Dragon.
Oh my God, I'm done for tonight.
We're looking
The
for a
Tea
replacement for Jen if anybody wants to apply.
Have fucking
Wait,
at it.
who voted on this? I didn't.
I cannot get it together. It's 8:30 currently, guys. So if that tells you guys anything, and I've been
Well,
working
you
all
sound
day.
like me at 8:30 this morning.
Sure, I have not had enough coffee. I guess I don't know.
Look, I literally called. So we use like extensions to call between stores, and I literally called my coworker this morning, and then I looked down and I was like, "Oh, I called the wrong extension." And then I was like, "Well, it doesn't matter. I can tell you." And then I was like, "No, you really can't help me." And then I tried to explain what happened. It came out literally as like, bleh. And I was like, "I'm gonna go now. I can't talk." And hung up.
I feel that.
I would have
So,
just hung up.
there's 3 in this one. It's the Tea Dragon Society, the Tea Dragon Festival, and the Tea Dragon Tapestry.
Okay, so I think I've only read
Ooh.
the first 2. I don't think I read the last one. Are there more? Like,
No.
is she?
But Kay
That's
does
it?
a lot of other stuff.
Is it over?
It's over. Sorry to
Okay.
disappoint. But they're really cozy, and your kids can
So
read
what
them.
is this one?
That's
Yeah,
the best.
like,
the
absolutely.
Tea Dragon Society. It has dragons. It has all different kinds of dragons. It's
And the
It's
dragons grow
LGBTQ+.
tea leaves. Like the dragons grow tea leaves like on their horns and
Yep.
stuff. And they can be harvested to make like different types of tea.
it's so good.
And don't they find one sleeping in the woods or something? And oh my god. I
It's so
fucking love
cozy.
the whole thing. Dude, I mean you could
I gotta-
literally
I need something. with
yeah, the line for
pictures.
them through Libby is forever. They're not on Kindle Unlimited.
Womp womp.
Um,
No.
Yes, they are. That's how I read mine.
Well, they aren't anymore.
Oh,
The
Kindle Unlimited, you
tea-
suck.
The
Oh.
Tea Dragon
Society by
Society.
Kay O'Neill.
But they are on Libby. And I mean, you can get through them in minutes. Like they're so short.
Your
and
kids
sweet.
can read them. It's
Yeah.
so good. I let Allie read the first one, and she was like, "Wow, this is fantastic." And we haven't picked up the.
I
or
think
she
even your
hasn't.
younger girls would too.
Right, I think Remy would do well, but she needs
Yeah.
to do. She's only in first grade. So I
Yeah.
think some of the words
Read
would be
with her.
kind of bigger.
Yeah.
I can read it
'Cause,
maybe
like-
if it's on a first grade level.
I feel like I
could
could
get
read
behind
it
that.
to Samantha and she would enjoy it. Like
It's
if
not
I
gonna
pulled
be
it
like
up
I have no comments for you,
Iron
Holly.
on a
Flame
big
or-
tablet.
So the last one I have to recommend that was a cozy romance, and it's also LGBTQ plus. Was The Princess and the
Naturally.
Grilled Cheese Sandwich by Deya Muniz.
Also, literally me. A princess with a grilled cheese sandwich.
Okay.
Every day of my life.
So this book is about a princess who is looking for friends, and it's about this other girl, quote unquote, that unfortunately has to disguise herself because this is a historical fiction. This is back in the days where women couldn't have anything and they couldn't inherit unless they were a man because men run the household. So to get her inheritance, she dresses up as a man.
Okay.
And she has to portray herself as a man to get her inheritance and live a happy life. Because her dad had no other kids.
Yeah.
So she moves to this town with her maid after her dad dies, and she disguises herself as a man. Well, she becomes friends with the princess, and the princess thinks she's a man back because she disguised herself as a man. They end up in this friendship that turns a little romantic, and I'll leave you off with that it turns so good and so heartfelt, and there's a little bit of conflict, but not very much when she finds out that she's not really a man. And it's a little bit of gay awakening that, and all of that stuff. And it's so good. It's so cozy. I found out Target on a whim, and I was like, you know what? I love graphic novels. It's really where my heart lies, is graphic novels and manga. And I read it and I was like, wow. I read it in one sitting. And I still, to this day, go in, and if I'm reading, I don't count on Goodreads because, like, it's just making me feel good. It's not for my reading account or reading goal. It's just for me. I sometimes sit down and read it. And I'm just like, it makes me feel, like, just happy.
And it's a graphic novel?
It's a graphic novel.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, I have a lot of graphic novels that I just go in and I'm just like rereading, and I'm just like, I'm just not even gonna count it because it's just my fave. It's just like, it's like watching Gilmore Girls for like the 18th time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just go and you just want something
Comfort
that's comfort.
Yeah.
So that one is I think it's a cozy romance, and you don't find many cozy romances because you usually end up with third act breakups. So it's one of my favorite genres.
I don't feel like Gilmore Girls is my cozy rewatch. My cozy rewatch is just Charmed, and it's not cozy at all.
I love
but-
Charmed. I love Charmed too.
Oh my god!
I'm not saying.
that
Have you
is
seen all the
my-
drama on freaking TikTok with Charmed over the
No.
freaking Comic Cons and stuff? Okay, well, we'll get into that a different day. I love Charmed too. I grew up on Charmed, but like now as an adult, I haven't watched Gilmore Girls in some time because now the more that I'm looking into it, the more I get older. Lorelai was a dumb bitch, but we'll get into that a different time.
I can't Gilmore Girls. I can never get past a certain season. I get so far into it, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm
She
over
does
this.
Luke dirty, and I'm just like,
She does
I'm
a
done
million
with you.
times.
Yeah.
A million times.
And then
she
like
fucks him
Rory's
over
a little
time and time
whiny
again.
bitch. You're in college, dude. Like, shut the fuck up.
But Logan was like, I liked Logan.
I'm a Jess girly.
Me too.
Oh.
Jess, when he comes up to me and he's like, "Why did you drop out of Yale?" I'm like, "Yeah, bitch. Why?
Yeah, she's not the brightest.
Why are you
okay.
in the DAR?
We're not
or
going to get lost in
DRA
Gilmore
or whatever?"
Girls.
It's
Well,
another
anyway.
one I just have to sit in the corner and play with my putty. 'cause
I like Charm too.
Look,
be in
I
my
didn't watch it
conversation.
till I was I don't know, 3 years ago.
I just
Don't
don't.
mention age.
It just doesn't seem like me.
Do you have a cozy rewatch? Do you have a show that you go to
or
rewatch?
a cozy movie.
I have a cozy show and a cozy movie.
Well, let's go ahead and discuss.
cozy show is Bob's Burgers. It's not cozy, but it's
Okay.
cozy for me.
No, but I feel that.
yeah. And I think that's
you can get
yours
lost in it. You don't
too.
have to pay attention. I've watched that show so many
I
times.
have it on repeat. So yeah, and also the Cleveland show. I've seen every episode of that so many times, and there's no new episodes. So, and then my cozy movie is Coraline, which
Okay,
is
not
Yes.
cozy.
cozy to me, but not cozy to anybody else. But I've seen that movie. I wish that I had a counter for how many times I've seen that movie. Because I'll turn it on I watch it
That's how I
several
feel.
times a year.
That's how I feel with Howl's Moving Castle.
I just
Or
watched it
yeah.
the
any
other
of those
day.
movies.
I made Samantha watch it with me.
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli for me is one of those ones that I put on if I literally just want background noise to like fold laundry or anything like that. So I definitely get that.
Yeah.
See, I can't do it with them. I'm too into it.
I've watched
I'm
them.
like, I
I've
wanna
watched them so many times that I
watch.
probably could recite every movie he came out with except for the new one.
Yeah.
I mean,
that he
I have
came
a
out
lot of Disney movies that are my comfort movies too. Like
Oh,
I love
Disney
watching the old
too.
Robin Hood.
Oh,
It's one of my
okay.
That one's
favorite old
good.
movies. I actually just got they had at the comic shop. I was there with Matt, and they had little Funko Pop keychains, and they had Robin Hood and Little John. And so I got Little
I
John, and
love
he's on my
that.
keys now. I was like, it makes me happy. Like Fox and the Hound is another good one, but that one also makes me
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
sob.
Yes.
I can't. But anyway, I've got a lot.
Okay.
Of
What about
cozy
you,
stuff.
Tara?
So like my no matter my mood, I can turn it on and listen or watch would probably be Friends.
Okay.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter what
Friends is a
season.
repeat.
You're a
Like
Friends bitch.
I
Yeah.
am going
So
to do
is
I could
it.
do without.
Same.
So like I don't know. I love Chandler and Joey's relationship, and it's just like nobody can tell me any. I don't know. I love all the relationships. So like it depends.
It's great.
I love them.
I think I would have liked Friends more if it wasn't consistently on when I was growing up. Because it was one of those shows that was always on, that and Seinfeld and The Simpsons were like the
Yep.
3 shows that my mom watched almost in sequence at night.
Mhm.
And they were too like adult for me. And so it was like, they're kind of boring, and they didn't so now that I try to watch them, it just kind of lost its. And Frasier. Fucking Frasier. What a boring show. Anyway.
I
don't
will
even know what
admit,
that book
I
is.
I never got into like Frasier or Seinfeld. I will take Frasier over Seinfeld, but I didn't really get into either of those either.
But I love Curb Your
Friends was
Enthusiasm, which is like
always-
the same thing.
Friends was always on the same thing, but I didn't
Yeah.
grow up with cable, so I had like 5 channels to choose from. And let me tell you, KET, which was like the kids channel, it didn't have kid stuff at like 7:00 at night.
they didn't.
So for me, it was like
Yeah.
that and like,
Yeah.
gosh, like Charmed on
Yeah.
UPN and Buffy and like all these crazy things. So
Do you have a comfort movie too?
I have too many.
Okay, that's fair.
I have too many.
That's
So like one that I'll turn on if I just don't want to think about anything. Well, I mean, I could listen. I'll go through all the Harry Potter movies or all the Jurassic Park movies. Like,
Okay, I do too.
yeah, like I
My
I
kids
turn
even
them
like
on.
I'm shocked.
I love it.
Yep.
They're my favorite. Nathaniel
They're-
gets mad at me. He's like, "We've watched this like 3 times this year," and I'm like,
Well,
"That's
too bad.
my favorite."
I love the Jurassic Park movies. I also
Yes.
like the newer ones too.
I do.
I don't. I love all of them, but the newer ones, I don't like as much as the older ones.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Oh, one of my favorite comfort movies is getting a sequel soon.
Ooh.
Inside Out.
Oh yes,
It's
so
so
excited.
excited. With anxiety and embarrassment, right?
I know anxiety looks like a total vibe.
Where can I put my stuff?
Oh,
My baggage. I'm taking my kids to go see it.
Yeah, Inside Out
That'll
is
be
another
cute.
big comfort movie. I just used to put that one on and fall asleep.
I literally am anger.
Yeah, I
The
could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should say who are we Inside Out wise?
I'm anger.
Or disgust. I could see you
Me?
be disgust.
You
Yeah.
are
Being
disgust.
How are you gonna call me out and then you're the one that's legit disgust?
No,
You are disgust.
I would have thought I'm
I
like
already said I
joy
had anger
or sadness.
No. No.
Or
don't know.
or fear. I could be fear. I feel like I'm all of them just
No.
played on a loop.
well, that's because they're
That's
all in
true.
our
They're all the
heads.
emotions.
I'm serious. I think that I could say, like, if you could pick 2, I think I would be between anger and joy. Because, like, I'm like a joyful anger.
Mm.
Like, I lean both.
I'm like anger and disgust. Like, what the fuck are you doing and why?
Okay. Well, maybe I put my 2.
I'm
myself-
bipolar, so I am them all.
Apparently,
Literally.
mine aren't out yet. I don't know. No.
Yeah, well, I
It's-
don't know.
it's-
What would
it's-
Tara be? Tara would probably be joy.
I feel
You
like
think?
Tara's
Tara
like,
would
let's
be.
go on an adventure.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna be great.
I
you
think
guys.
Tara
Yeah,
would
but
love
then
it
like the
all.
whole time on that adventure, I'm like, we have to be here at exactly this time. If they tell you have to be 2 hours early, we need to be like 2 hours and half an hour, 2.5 hours early, and then I'm not 2.5 hours early, and then that's a problem.
See, I have the
And
kind
so,
of
but you
ADHD
still
that
keep
makes
your
me a half
cool.
hour early to everything instead of a half hour
think?
late because I'm so,
You're so sweet.
anxious about
I have-
being late.
I've known you for like 15 years.
Do you
something
hear
like
that, Nathaniel? Holly doesn't think I stress out too much.
I have never seen you like lose your fucking shit on anything or anybody, and I've been around you a long, long time. So.
Okay.
So we're just all the inside out
Jen,
characters.
comfort show, comfort movie.
Yes.
Oh god, Howl's Moving Castle, and I would say Gilmore Girls, but I've actually haven't watched it in like 3 or 4 months, so I'm
that's
actually
okay.
currently not doing any shows.
Okay.
I have one that I just watched. Nah, I'm not gonna get to it. Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like I have 2 of each. So it's going to be Charmed and then Once Upon a Time. If I'm literally just scrolling and I'm like, I don't know what to watch, I'll just put it on. It's background noise. I've seen it enough.
Everything
We were
comes
just
for a
talking
price,
about that.
dearie.
And
I've
then
never seen it all the way through, actually.
comfort movies
Barely
are Urban Cowboy because I adopted that. It was my mom's comfort movie growing up. And
Well,
like
good for your mom.
some of my favorite like memories of me and my mom were like literally just sitting in her bed, chowing down on a bag of Oreos while watching Urban Cowboy.
A bag of Oreos.
What do you
Why
think
do
they
you have to
come
call
in?
anyone else? See, this is why we say you're disgust. The look you just gave Cassie. The look you just gave Cassie. You're like,
Bag of
a bag of
Oreos.
Oreos, you dumb bitch. A bag of Oreos, really? A bag?
A barb. And the other one, and Holly will appreciate this, is The Holiday.
Oh, it's
So good.
I love the holiday.
I can watch The Holiday on repeat, Christmas time or not. I don't give a shit.
Wait, is that the one with Cameron Diaz,
Yes.
Jack Black,
Jude
and
Law.
Kate
And
when
Jude
they
Law.
switch? Okay, I finally watched that. Holly had been recommending this movie to me for like
Yes,
years.
It's so good.
And I finally watched it like the year before last or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
Now that's a cozy
cute.
movie
So
right
good.
there.
It is.
I one scene
Can
from
anyone
that.
swap with me houses? I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I'm
We're
throwing it
open
out.
for house
Must be
swaps.
in England. No.
We'll take you.
I was like,
No,
what
I'll
are you
show you.
talking
I don't
about?
want to see the spiders.
The one scene in that movie that always plays through my head is Cameron Diaz singing Mr. Brightside, like real
Oh, yeah.
emphatically when she's
me.
alone. Oh, that's such a good movie. I'm glad that you liked it.
Loved it.
So I think that we're feeling nice and cozy. I'm going to go upstairs and wrap up with a blanket and read a book because that's how I feel now. We hope that you guys feel that way too. And we can't wait to see you back in May. Woo! Bye.
Bye.